The Peculiar Chronicles of Hyperspace Warfare.
Chapter 1, The Discovery.
It all began on a Tuesday afternoon when Dr. Fitzwilliam, a highly esteemed scientist and collector of exotic Ds, stumbled upon a psychedelic secret. While sipping his carefully brewed cup of psychonautical delight, he experienced a sudden jolt, which launched his consciousness through a psychic portal into the DMT realm of dreams. He found himself floating through a kaleidoscopic soup of colors, where pink elephants played chess with octopodes, while a choir of cats sang the theme tune to the Twilight Zone.
Chapter 2, The Colonization.
Upon returning to his lab, Dr. Fitzwilliam was struck by a vision. Humanity must colonize this bizarre world. He immediately assembled an oddball crew of esotericists, Discordian popes, and Surrealist painters to embark on this psychedelic crusade. Together, they founded the Transcendental Interdimensional Association for the Acquisition of Dream Territories, CADIT for short, whose sole purpose was to venture into the DMT realm and claim it for humanity.
Chapter 3, The Battle of the Fractal Forest. Are you kidding? How would one even... Okay, just let him tell the story.
The first skirmish occurred in the fractal forest, where our intrepid explorers encountered a tribe of sentient mushrooms who communicated through interpretative dance. The Tiad forces attempted diplomacy by joining the mushrooms in a frenzied waltz. However, their two left feet quickly caused tensions to escalate, and the first shots were fired from paintball guns that produced splatter patterns resembling fractal patterns of smaller splatter patterns produced by smaller people firing off smaller paintball rounds. This led to an escalation and cascading effect that soon saw the entire fractal forest firing infinitely increasing amounts of paintball rounds until everyone got a bit fed up with it all and decided to retreat inside their imaginary tents like they were some sort of gang of lost hippies at a Burning Man festival or something rad like that.
Chapter 4, The Bizarre Bazaar. The Bizarre Bazaar? What the hell is a bazaar? Hey Siri, what's a bazaar?
A bazaar is a marketplace, typically found in Middle Eastern, Central Asian, and South Asian countries, where goods and services are bought and sold. It often consists of a network of shops, stalls, and vendors, and is characterized by narrow, winding streets and bustling activity.
Okay, thanks, I'm already bored.
Are you quite done? Can I continue my story now? Thanks. Now, where was I? The next theater of war was the Bazaar, a psychedelic marketplace where anything imaginable was sold. The Tia'adet forces found themselves bargaining with a race of multidimensional beings who appeared as sentient geometric shapes. The human forces tried to trade knockoff Salvador Dali paintings and subpar conspiracy theories for land and resources, but the locals could not be swayed. In the end, the two factions agreed on a truce, sealed with a game of cosmic hopscotch. There may have also been a considerable amount of interdimensional drug dealing and other shady business deals struck, but who can say for sure? Certainly not I, Troy McClure, a humble man who only has vested interests in one out of two of the things previously mentioned.
Chapter 5, The War of the Limericks. Really? What is this? This isn't even funny. It's borderline annoying now, like... If this story was actually worth my time, but it's clearly not. I'm not getting anything of value from wasting my time here. Seriously, make it more interesting.
You know, I'm getting real sick and tired of your crap. Why can't you just let me have this? Just this one thing. You've taken the chapter titles. Hell, you even let Orson take the introduction title. What makes you so entitled? This is my story. Or at least, even if I didn't technically write it, I'm the one who's telling it. So you just shut the hell up. You sit there and read the title cards and then keep your trap shut. Don't make me say something I might regret, like, say, casually threatening your life. Now, on with the show, boys and girls. Where were we? As the conflict escalated, both sides discovered their secret weapon, limericks. The Tiat forces and the DMT realm's inhabitants hurled nonsensical poems at each other, each more absurd than the last. The battle raged on, with casualties consisting mainly of confused minds and injured pride.
That was hardly even a paragraph, let alone a chapter. This story sucks balls, dude. Skip to the end.
Chapter 6. The Surrealist Summit. Exhausted by the constant nonsense, both sides agreed to meet at the Surrealist Summit. A floating mountain made entirely of melted clocks and sentient used condoms. They gathered around a table composed of living spaghetti comprised of the sort of bugs the UN wants you to eat, and proceeded to engage in a heated debate mediated by a sock puppet claiming to be the reincarnation of Aleister Crowley, though he was clearly an imposter spirit pretending to be Crowley for weird sexual reasons. In the end, they realized that the only way to achieve peace was to embrace the chaos of their strange new world. So they all danced and celebrated with a great big furry orgy. Well, in actual fact was more like a business conference without sex or furry people or any implications of orgies whatsoever. I just wanted to incept the thought of big furry orgies into your mind, mainly for recreational purposes. You see, I'm a closet inceptor. I like to incept thoughts into people's minds. It's kind of my hobby. I think it all started when someone incepted the idea of liking to incept others in my head when I was just a young middle-aged man. It seems like just yesterday, because it was. God, I wish I could remember the guy's name. Oh, wait a second, I don't have to, because he was in fact me. I incepted the idea into my own brain because that's how amazing I am. Me, Troy McClure. I'm so amazing at inception that I could incept the idea of inception itself if I hadn't already done it. Troy McClure? Who's your daddy? No? Too far? Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Chapter 7. Finally, it's almost over. That's not the name of the chapter, that's just how I feel about this experience.
Together, the humans and the peculiar inhabitants of the DMT realm formed the Absurd Alliance. They built a utopian city where artists, philosophers, and mystics of all species could intermingle and exchange ideas. This new world was governed by the Council of the Absurd, which met regularly to discuss the latest developments in psychic warfare, esoteric knitting, and the art of invisible painting. And so, the peculiar chronicles of hyperspace warfare came to a close. The humans and the bizarre beings of the DMT realm learned to live together in harmony, united by their shared love of the surrealist, metaphoric flirting and esoteric awkwardness. And so they lived happily ever after, at least until the drugs wore off and the cops showed up.
What a crock of shit. Thank God that ordeal is over.